And online people, please confirm my voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so sorry for late, Andy. So some other demonstration happened. It went very late. Sorry for that. Okay, so in the morning session, what we discussed about how to create the partitioning and clustering by using the different approaches. First approach, we discussed from console. From the console, how we can able to create the table with the partition. That is one topic. But what is the limitation from the console? What is the limitation from the console? We cannot able to give our own column name. But what is the column it is taking? It is taking the column name as a ingestion time column. So internally it is taking one column called as a partition date column. So with this column, it is applying the partition automatically, but you cannot able to specify your own column only. So for that reason, what we are doing here, instead of using the console approach, we need to go for other approach is nothing but by using console with commands. So first one, which command we have used? By using load data command, we try to load the data. Here, what is happening? Table is creating. If not available, table is creating, and also data is loading. Okay. And third operation we discussed about create table, then load the data. Okay. So here what we are doing, we are going to use the create command. As part of create command, we are going to create the partitions and we are going to create the clustering. After that, again, we are going to use the load command for the purpose of doing our load operations. All these are the different approaches we covered as part of our morning session. Now we'll try to understand how we can able to perform the same operations from the Cloud SDK. So we'll try to understand how we can able to perform same operations from the Cloud SDK. Now you try to give the answer. By using any one of the above option, can we able to perform the same operations from the Cloud SDK? By using the above option. So see here, earlier we discussed already, this query we can able to run by using the Cloud SDK. But if you want to run any query from the Cloud SDK, what we have to do? If you want to run the queries, what we
BigQuery.
BigQuery. After that, use legacy SQL is equal to false. After that, within the single quote, just we need to pass our complete query. We need to pass the query. So with this, what we can do here, you can able to create the table. Okay. But after that, if you want to load the data, then what we have to do from the Cloud SDK?
BQ load.
From the BQ also we are having the command called as a BQ load command. By using the BQ load command, what we can do here, we can able to load the data only. We'll discuss about all those things now. Create table and load data from Cloud SDK. Share the link. You people not receive the link?
Received, sir.
Then why he is pinging continuously? Share the link, share the link.
After some messages are there, right? It's very long back. It is there, like.
Okay, so okay, so we'll continue here. So coming to Cloud SDK. So what is the requirement? I want to create the table. I want to load the data from the SDK side. So to perform this operation, simply we can able to write the queries like this only. Okay, so this is the first one. Here just we need to give BigQuery, then hyphen use underscore legacy underscore SQL is equal to false. Then we are giving create command. This entire command we are giving within the single quote. So this is the way simply we can able to frame the query. So what we can do here, whatever the create command morning I shared with you only, we are going to use the same command. So we are going to use the create table one. And after that, we are giving the partition by hire date and country. But if you observe here, are we giving any options? In the morning session, if you remember, when we are creating the table from the console, here we given the options only. But if you are going to perform the same operation by using this one, I am facing a lot of syntax error when I am given the option. For now, please remove that options one. Just to give the only partition by and cluster by. With that, we can able to create the table. And as part of creation of this table, what is the table name I am giving? I am giving the table name as a employee create SDK only for understanding purpose only. This table we are creating from the SDK by using the create command. That's the reason, just for understanding, I'm giving it as a employee create SDK. I will try to run this query. Now, I want to run this query from where? From the Cloud SDK or from the Google shell. I want to open the Cloud shell. How to open the Cloud shell? Just we need to go to either BigQuery console or any one of the console. There, what we need to, where we need to click? Just we need to click on the console button. This one. Inside the search, you can able to see option called as a activate cloud shell ID. Just click on this. So once you click on the activate shell, it is going to activate the window like this. Okay, so this is the way also we can able to access our Cloud SDK. One option from the command prompt, you can open the Cloud SDK. Otherwise, within the browser, by using the activate shell option, you can able to open the Google Cloud Shell. Now here, what we can do here, as per our requirement, we can able to run any kind of commands only. Now here, what is the command we are going to run? I want to create the table by using the create command. For that reason, we are giving it as a BigQuery. After that, we are giving use legacy SQL is equal to false, and with that, we are going to trigger the command.
Sir, could you please paste the same in Telegram?
Okay, 1 second, I'm pasting. Just for the convenience for the people, I'm pasting same query into the Telegram group also, Nandi. But already I shared the same query in the morning session. Just to need to add the BigQuery hyphen legacy SQL false. Otherwise, I shared the same query in the Telegram group. You can refer that. By using that, you can able to create the table. Now, what we are doing, we are creating the table from the console, or we are creating the table from the shell, Cloud Shell. We are creating the table from the Cloud Shell. Now, you tell me, in this table, we loaded the data, or only structure has been created? Only structure is created. Now, what is the next requirement? I want to load the data. If you want to load the data from the Cloud Shell, what is the command we can able to use? We can able to use the command like this, and this is the command we can able to use. BQ load. After that, we need to specify the format of the file. I am giving hyphen source underscore format. What is the format file we are using? CSV file. CSV. And we are giving the CSV file here. After that, we are giving the skip leading rows. What is the reason? In the file, my first row is nothing but the column names only. I want to skip the first row. For that reason, I am given the hyphen skip leading rows is equal to 1. After that, we need to provide the database name dot table name. After that, we need to provide your GCS path or your file path which is present in the Google Cloud Storage. That path we need to provide here. We are given the hyphen source format is equal to CSV, one argument. Second argument, skip leading the rows equal to 1. Next one, we need to provide the database name dot table name. After that, we need to provide the path of your GCS file. All this information we need to provide.
Before give the code query, we need to give any commands, because after getting enter, it is not processing anything. In the first create table type.
No. So we need to give the BigQuery hyphen use underscore legacy SQL equal to false. Have you given that?
Yeah, I
It's
gave.
the same thing you gave in Telegram. We pasted it in Cloud Shell.
What happened? Working or not? Offline people, it's not working. What's the error?
This quotation, single quotation, sir, or this tab?
It's a single quotation.
Same way.
What's the error? Offline people, anyone facing the issue? Or no one tried? No, you are trying from the Cloud SDK or you are trying from the shell? Cloud SDK. Try from the shell. So all the people, please try from the Google Cloud Shell. If you want, if you are trying from the Cloud SDK, you need to give the slash symbol and even if you are giving the slash symbol, that is not working. That's the reason only I'm showing it in the Cloud Shell. Please open the Cloud Shell from the console. In the Cloud Shell, please run this command. Hope you tried from the SDK shell, Cloud SDK, black window.
So we, after getting the enter, it is not processing. At least the next what we command, this Srinivas, the Qt sample, that also it's not coming like that. I mean the next.
You can please close the shell and reopen the shell one more time.
Maybe the project name or dataset name is different.
Yeah, that time at least error we need to get, right? That also it's not.
Yeah, that's the reason. Please close it and open it
Error
once.
is coming, sir. We just need to modify the project name accordingly.
Yeah, all those things we need to modify it. So see, blindly don't take the query as it is only. Here, what are the changes you need to perform? You need to change your project name, you need to change your database name, and you need to change your table name as per your convenience. And sample Qt is the database in my system. Okay, in your in your account, might be you are having the different database name. So please give your database name, please give your project name, and do the activities. It's working now. And please run this from the Google Cloud Shell only. So open the shell from the console, because if you are going to run from the Cloud SDK, all these are the different lines, and for that reason might be you will get the error. For that reason, try to run this whole thing in the Google Cloud Shell. Okay. So once the table has been created, what's the next step? We need to load the data. For the purpose of loading the data, this is the command we are going to use. I already explained this command. So we are given the BQ load. Then we are given the format of the file. We are specifying how many records we want to skip. After that, we are given database name dot table name. Then we are given the path of the GCS file. This is the information we need to provide. Just copy this and run from the again same Cloud Shell. So I'm pasting this command also in the Telegram group. Please try to run this. See, whenever I'm giving any comments in the Telegram group, please verify the database name, please verify the table name, and please verify the project name. If you are going to use the same comments as is, what will happen? Definitely you will get the errors. Because my database name is different and your database name is different. My project name is different and your project name is different. For that reason, please check it once, and based on that, try to execute the queries or try to execute the comments. Okay, here if you observe, for me, data has been successfully loaded. Now I want to see the list of the partitions. And so how I can able to see the list of the partitions? Again, we can go to the same partitions table. Now, what is my table name here? My table name is employee create SDK. This is my table name. Just I'm giving the table name in our morning, whatever the query we discussed, I'm giving it in the partitions. Now this is the query, just I'm going to trigger. Okay, if you run the query below, you can able to get the output. Now see, again, we are getting the same partition ID study because we updated the partition on the hire date column. It is going to create the partitions based on the hire date, and for every hire date, how many records are loaded, all that information we can able to see on top of your output. This is the way from the from the Cloud SDK also, we can able to create the partitions by depending on the requirement, and we can able to load the data by depending on the requirement. And with that, we can able to see the partitions from the console window by using the query, whatever we discussed in the morning session. Okay. Any questions, or if you're facing any kind of issues, please let me know.
Sir, can't we see the output in Cloud Shell?
Which output?
Just now we created a table, right? We created and loaded.
Yeah, so if you want to see that, what you can do, say run the same query by using the BQ query. And already we discussed, right? If you want to run any, Yeah.
We run this query in
No, I'm
Not
telling that
Cloud Shell.
whatever the query I'm running in the console, run the same query from your Cloud Shell also. Just give the BigQuery -- use legacy SQL equal to parse and pass this entire query in the single code. With that, in the Cloud SDK also you can able to see. So from my side, I'm not doing. I'm asking you to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, if you want to run this query, just what you have to do, you need to give it as a same thing. BigQuery -- use legacy SQL equal to false and pass this entire query in the single code. With that, from the Cloud SDK also might be you can able to see that information. Okay, online people, anyone facing any issues from the SDK or from the Cloud Shell?
Yeah, I'm seeing like not enough positional arguments, still looking for the destination table.
No, might be you are given the some extra spaces, and please check it once. You have to give the only single space. If you are given the multiple spaces, it will give such kind of error.
Sir, as a cloud data engineer, in real time, we are working in this partition concept.
Yeah, we are going to work on the
Partitioning
partition.
table.
That's the reason only we are spending this much of time.
Okay,
Otherwise-
but why SQL developers are not using like in Snowflake or?
That I'm not sure, Andy, but as a cloud data engineer, in the real time, we are going to apply the partitions.
Sir, there is some error is coming, sir.
What's the error?
Unable to parse the file, failure details. Higher underscore date, one date, it is telling not able to parse, sir. Error while reading the data. I'll paste the message in Zoom chat, sir.
No, here other people are. So you are using the same file or you are using the different file, whatever I shared in the
Whatever
morning?
you have given in the file only I have used, sir. Is it working for others?
Yes.
Yes, working.
So can you please verify, have you added this skipping leading rows equal to 1?
Yes, sir. I have added that.
Might be something you are missing, Andy. So verify the path and everything properly. So it is
Okay,
working
sir.
for other people.
Okay.
Offline people, any work facing any issue is working? No. Online people, just 1 minute only. I'm checking the offline people issues. So anyone else facing the issue? It's working. It's working to you. Okay, we'll do one thing, Andy. So for some people it's working, so for some people it's not working. After completion of the class, just we'll check why it's not working. Okay. So for whomever it's working, is well and good. For whomever it is not working, we'll check offline after the class and we'll see what is the error. Okay. So now actually just try to understand the concept at least otherwise. So this is the way simply we can able to create the table from the Gcloud shell, and we can able to load the data also by depending on our requirement. This is the one way of the creation of the table. Now in the same way, what we can do here is we can able to create the table by using the other approach. Just I will show you that. Okay. If you see here, this is the one more way we can able to create the table from the Cloud shell only. If you observe earlier what we given the BigQuery. After that, we are given the use legal SQL equal to false, and all the information we are giving as a create statement. Now, instead of giving the create statement, what we can do here is we can able to apply the directly BQ command like this. What is the meaning of MK? Earlier we discussed. To make a database or to make a table, we can give like this. I am giving BQ space MK. Then I'm given the hyphen T. Hyphen T is nothing but for what? If you want to create the table, we have to give it as a hyphen T. After that, here we are given the hyphen schema only. Here what I'm doing, I'm giving the schema in the create command, or I am giving the schema in the within the line. Within the line, if you see, we are giving it as a column name, data type. Again, column name, data type. Again, column name, data type. Like that, for whatever the number of columns we are having, for every column we are giving it as a column name, colon, data type. Again, column name, colon, data type. Column name, colon, data type. So this is the way we can able to pass the complete structure. This kind of only we can able to call it as nothing but inline structure. So what we are doing here, we are given the inline structure, or we are given the inline schema. But where we are doing this operation, from the console or from the Cloud shell only? Again, from the Cloud shell only. From the Cloud shell, if you want, directly we can able to give the create command. Otherwise, what we can do here, instead of giving the create command, here we are going to apply the BQMK-T command. By using this command also, we can able to create the table. But here, instead of giving the create command, what I'm doing here, I am giving all the schema within the line. Here we are given the column name, data type. Again, column name, data type. Again, column name, data type. By passing the column name and data type like this also, we can able to create the table. This kind of schema only we can able to call it as a inline schema, or we can able to call it as a inline structure. After that, if you observe what we are giving, we are given the partitioning column. We are given the partitioning column like this. This is the date column, or this is the kind of a normal column. This is the date column. For that reason, we are giving it as a time partitioning field is nothing but hire date. After that, what is the purpose of this? Already we discussed in the morning session. To enable the where clause, we are given this condition: require partition filter is equal to true. This is the one more argument. After that, we are given the clustering field. What is the clustering field here? We are giving it as a country, and on top of what we are doing this operation, for example, I want to create a new table. On top of that new table, you want to do all these operations, and for that reason, here this is the one more approach. If you want to create the table, we can able to follow all these kind of things. We are giving BQ-MK-T. Then we are given the schema. We are given the complete schema within the inline. After that, we are given the time partition field, which is nothing but our partition column, and we are applying the required partition filter is equal to true, which is nothing but it is going to enable the where clause as a mandatory field. After that, we are given the clustering column. Then we are specifying on which table you want to perform this operation. In my example, I'm giving it as a employee create SDK 1 and D. So by using this approach also, what we can do here, you can able to create the table on top of your BigQuery database. Okay. Just I will share the same query again. Try to run your systems. So from my side also, I will run this query. So copy this entire command into your Notepad++, and please understand the command. Then please try to run the same command from the Cloud shell.
Sir, could you please let me again? I'm sorry, I could not understand. What is hyphen schema and hyphen T?
Yeah, hyphen T is nothing but here what you want to do. I want to create the new table by using the new structure. For that reason, we are given the hyphen T, and a hyphen T is nothing but this is the by using this command you are trying to create the table. What is the meaning of hyphen schema? Whenever you want to create the table, we need to provide the column name and we need to provide the data type. All that information we are passing with the help of the hyphen schema. After that, we need to specify the partition column. For that reason, here we are giving it as a time partitioning field, and we are given the column name. On which column you want to apply the partition, that information we are giving. After that, we are given the required partition filter, which is nothing but as part of running the query, compulsory we have to give the where clause. To provide that information, we are giving it as a required partition filter is equal to true. After that, we are giving hyphen clustering field, which is nothing but by using this, we are going to enable clustering on top of the particular column called as a country column. So like this, we are given the different arguments. Why we are doing all these activities? For the purpose of creation of the table by using one more approach. This approach we can able to call it as a inline schema approach. By using the Cloud SDK, by using this query, we can able to create the table. This is the one more way how we can able to create the tables as part of our real-time projects.
Except table, we can do other objects also, like inline structure.
Can you repeat it once?
In this way, we can through inline structure we'll create a table.
Yes.
With this we can create another object like view or anything. Just asking, sir.
Yeah, we can able to create it. So just here we need to change the options. Instead of -t, I think we need to give the -v. With that, we can able to create the views.
Okay. So it is applicable for everything, right?
Yeah, for everything. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting created successfully, but after refresh also in the BigQuery, I'm not seeing that data table.
Just refresh after 1 or 2 minutes. Might be it is taking time to display you.
Oh,
Sir, in the real time we use this approach.
See, in the real time, in the different projects, we are going to follow different approaches. And for that reason, I'm trying to explain all the approaches. See, by seeing all those approaches, don't get any kind of confusion, because in the real time, if you are going to work, we can, in some projects, we are going to use this kind of approach. In some projects, we are going to use this kind of approach, or in some projects, directly you are going to get the console access. But as part of the classes, my responsibility is I need to explain what all are the different approaches we are going to follow in the real time. That's the reason I am trying to cover all the approaches. And by seeing all these approaches, don't get any kind of confusion. In all these approaches, finally, what we are doing? We are creating the table. On top of the table, we are adding the partition, we are adding the clustering. We are not doing any new activity from the morning onwards, but same activity we are doing from the by using different approaches, because as part of real time, in some projects we are going to apply the inline schema. In some projects we are going to use the create approach. In some projects directly you are going to get the console access. Just for the awareness, we are discussing about all these approaches as part of our classes.
Got it.
Okay. This one ran. Are anyone facing any kind of issues on this? Okay. Now, what is the next step? Table has been created. On top of this table, we need to load the data. Whatever the command earlier I shared on this, same command we can able to run for the purpose of loading the data also. Please run this. Same BQ load command only we are using. Already I shared this command previously. So you can use the same command. Only thing you need to change your table name and run this command. See, for me, data load also successfully completed. Table has been created and data also loaded successfully without any issues. By using this command, data loaded to you? Okay, try it once. I think you has the same issue, but we'll check it once. That's what same error. Other people, any issues are facing?
No, sir.
no.
Okay, so
So
both table has been created and data also loaded without any issues. Online people, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Nice.
The
Offline people.
partition,
Yeah, first command for creation of the structure, BQ-MK-T, that is for creation. I showed you second command also, right? So this is the command to load the data. No, this is for loading the data, not for creation of the structure. So here what I'm doing, we are given the BQ load. What is the meaning of load here? to load the data, and here we are given the path of the file also. We are given the path of the file and everything. So with this, what will happen? It is going to load the data. Okay. Yeah. Offline people, again I'm repeating, any questions, any issues, all issues only.
I think that this in line next faster than same issue.
Same issue. Yeah, I think some issue was there in the file. I will check a little. Yeah, you're saying.
I think it's faster than we are legacy.
It's not like that only. So all are going to work in the same way only.
Sir, what is this range partitioning you mentioned?
That I will tell you. We have discussed about this. I will tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you are not facing any kind of issues, so please observe here for a few minutes. Actually, if you observe here, as part of given the partitioning on top of the higher date, here what is the argument I given? I given the time partitioning as part of creation of the table by using the create command. Directly we are giving it as a partition by, but commenting here, why we are specifically giving it as a time partitioning field? This is the one thing we need to understand. Just please understand. Why trying to give partitions, we need to apply partitions on date and integer columns only. So please listen here. So while trying to give the partitions, what we have to do here, we need to apply the partitions only on date column and integer columns only. Only on these columns only we can able to apply the partition. Again, this is the one of the limitation we are having in the BigQuery. I am not doing any controlling here only. From the BigQuery set, that is the rule they define. What is the rule? Whenever you want to apply the partition, we need to apply the partition on top of the date columns and integer columns and also timestamp columns.
Timestamp.
Only on these columns only we can able to apply the partitioning. Now, whenever you want to apply the partitioning on top of the date column or the timestamp column, then we need to use this argument. Whenever you want to apply the partitioning on top of the date column or timestamp column, then what we have to do here, we need to use the argument called as a time partitioning field. By seeing the name only, you can able to understand this partitioning field is on what column? Time column. That might be the timestamp column or that might be the date column only. So for that reason, here we are given the argument called as a time partitioning field. Now, for example, if you want to apply the range partition, generally on which column we are going to apply the range partition?
Integer column.
On top of the integer columns, we are going to apply the range partition. Now, as part of given the range partition, there we need to provide the column name. For example, we need to give column name is employee ID. Then we need to specify the start value. For example, I'm giving it as a 0, 100, 9. So this is the So this is the way we can able to provide the this is the way we can able to provide the range partitioning. In the range partitioning, what we are doing here, we need to provide the column name, we need to provide the start value, we need to provide the end value, and we need to provide the interval information. With these details only, what will happen? It is going to create the range partitioning. But coming to time partitioning, what we are doing here, just we are going to provide the column name only. Just this is the one point I missed in the yesterday's session. Whenever you are going to create the partition, we can able to create the partition on only specific data types. What are those data types? Date and timestamp column and integer column. If you are going to create the partition on top of the date and timestamp, then we need to apply the time partitioning field. If you are going to apply the partitioning on top of the integer column, then we need to apply the range partitioning. Within the range partitioning, what all are the inputs we are giving? You need to provide the column name, you need to provide the start value, we need to provide the end value, and we need to provide the interval. All these are the inputs we need to provide if you are going to create the partitioning by using the range partitioning. But if it is a time partitioning, then directly what we can do, you can able to provide your date column or timestamp column. With that, you can able to create the two different types of partitioning. And one is the time partitioning and other one is nothing but our range partitioning. This is the one of the topic we have discussed as part of our yesterday's session. Okay. Now just we'll continue here. So
One
far,
thing, sir.
yeah, please.
Sorry, I can. Range partitioning is just for the integers. It will take.
Yes.
The time we will take as a
Date
date,
columns only. Date and
time.
timestamp. Okay.
Column start. What is the start end interval?
So we are giving that from which value to which value you want to apply the partitioning. So for example, if you take the employee table, we are having the 1 lakh records only. Out of these 1 lakh records, for how many records you want to apply the partitioning? For example, you want to apply the partitioning for only first 1000 records, or you want to apply the partitioning for some middle of the records. So to specify that information, we are given the start value and end value.
Okay, the interval is how many records after we need to partition.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Now see here, just we'll try to understand how we can able to create the table by using other approach. And already we discussed about multiple approaches. We are having the one more last approach. How to create the table. Again, same thing. So to perform this activity, please observe. So what I'm doing here, I am going to use the same command again one more time only. So whatever the command we discussed above, BQ-MK-T schema, whatever the command we discussed, here we are going to use the same command, but only difference here is, if you observe here what we are doing, within the line, we are given the complete schema, we are given the column name, we are given the data type for each and every column. That's the reason we are calling it as this is the inline schema approach. But if you observe here what I'm doing, I'm given the same hyphen schema, but here what I'm doing, instead of giving the schema in the line, we are putting all the schema within the JSON file, and in the JSON file, we are keeping all the structure of the table. That JSON file we are giving as input to the schema. Only that is the difference, except that all the remaining things are common. If you see, we are applying the time partitioning, required partition filter, clustering field, everything is common. Only what is the difference here? Here in this example, we are given the schema within the line. Here only we are given the schema, within the command only we are given the complete schema, we are given the column name, and we are given the data type. But in this example, what we are doing here, we are going to place complete schema into the JSON file. In that JSON file, we are going to put all the schema, we are going to include the column name, data type, and all the information. By using the JSON file, we are going to provide the schema. With that, we can able to create the table. Now you tell me, is there any complexity once you understand the above approach? Once you understand this approach, is there any complexity in the second approach? Here, just what we are modifying, instead of giving the schema inline, we are placing that entire schema into the JSON file. We are giving that JSON file as input to this command. With that, also we can able to create the table. Now we'll see how we can able to give the JSON file. Just see, this is the JSON file. If you observe in the JSON file, what we are doing, in the JSON file, generally we are going to have the key value pairs. If you see, what is the name? EID column. What is the type? Integer. What is the mode? In the console, if you remember, when we are going to create the table, we need to give the mode, right? So here I given the mode as a nullable. If you are not giving anything by default, what will happen? It will take it as a nullable only. But just for understanding, I give it as a mode as a nullable only. In the same way, we are going to define all the columns. And if you see, we are given the first name string, last name string, phone number string, hire date, job ID string, whatever the information we are giving in the inline schema, same we are giving here also. Only thing is nothing but just we are giving it in the JSON format. Whenever we are going to maintain the JSON file, what we have to do here, we need to maintain the key value pair. What is meant by key value here?
Is a column name.
Just take this example. If you take this example, in this example, what is the key? Name is a key. What is the value? Employee ID is a value. If you observe here, this complete schema is dealing with the key value pairs only. This is a key value pair. Again, second one, again key value pair. Third one, again key value pair. In the JSON file, we are going to maintain all the data as a key value pair. But if you see the every row, what we are doing, name, type, mode. Again, name, type, mode. If you are going to have the 1000 columns, what we have to do here, we need to maintain the 1000 lines like this. But only difference is, in the previous approach, in the command only we are given the complete schema. But in this approach, what we are doing here, we are giving this complete schema within the JSON file, and we are giving this JSON file as input to our command. With that, this is the one more way we can able to create the table as part of our real-time projects.
Sir, phone number integer, sir.
We only create JSON files, sir.
Yeah, we only need to create the JSON file. Just I'm pinging this command in the group chat in the Telegram. And I will share this JSON file also. I will copy this content and paste it.
Sir, in this phone number is integer, no, sir?
Someone is saying phone number should be integer, but if you see the data in my file only, just 1 second, I will show you the data. If you see, my phone number is how it is. In the US, we are having the phone numbers like this only 515.123.4567. If you are going to give the integer, can we be able to store this kind of values in the integer columns? No. That's the reason here we give it as a string.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you want to run this command, what is the one more input is required? If you want to run this command from your system, what is the one more input is required? You need to have the JSON file. And so what I'm doing here is, I'm going to give this complete information. Okay. Now what you need to do? You need to copy paste. You need to copy paste this content, and you need to create the test file or CSV file or JSON file.
JSON
You need to create the JSON file. Now you tell me. Actually, we are working in the Cloud SDK or we are working in the Cloud Shell. I am working in the Cloud Shell only. Now tell me, by using this Cloud Shell, can I able to access my local files? This is the Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell is nothing but we connected to the browser. From the browser we are working. Now here, can we able to connect to my local C drive, D drive and E drive? Obviously, no.
Yes.
Then how I can able to give the path here? How I can able to give the path of the file?
Google storage.
Google storage. No, I don't want to go to the Google storage. Here only I want to create the file. What we can do?
Like
So see, this is the kind of your Unix shell and in this Unix shell, I want to create a file. If you want to create the file here, what is the command we need to use? How many of you complete the practice?
File format is called JSON.
Cat. Then you have to provide the any file names. For example, I'm giving it as a sample.json. This is the way you can able to create the file but if you are working from the Cloud SDK shell, then what you can do, you can able to create the file in the C drive or D drive or E drive. That path directly you can able to pass. But here in my system, what I'm doing or what I asked for you, please open the Google Cloud Shell in the Google Cloud Shell, we are not working from the internal system. We are working on the shell on the browser, which is nothing but this browser is not going to connect with your C drive or D drive or E drive. That's the reason where we need to create this JSON file. Within the shell only, we need to create the JSON file. Within the shell, if you want to create the JSON file, already I given the some Unix commands. What is the command we need to use? We need to use the command called as a cat command, just for your convenience. I will paste this also. So I given the command also in the Telegram group. So what you can do here, simply you need to give this command in the Google shell. After giving this, it is asking to enter the data. Please copy paste this complete data. After that, please give Ctrl+D to come out. So please give the command called as cat greater than, you need to provide the file name. We need to give the file name by depending on your convenience. You can give any file name only. Okay, by depending on your convenience, you can pass your file name. After that, just to pass all the structure, whatever I shared in the Telegram group. This is the structure of the file we are giving in on your JSON file. After that, we need to come out from the cat window, right? If you want to come out from the cat window, we need to click on the Ctrl+D. Anyone facing issue to create the file, please let me know. Sorry, this file sample where I didn't get that. Can you repeat? Sample.json where it is stored. Where it is stored? Within the shell only it is going to store. Within the Google shell only. Yes. Okay, hope everyone created the file and now after creation of the file, what we need to do here, we need to run this command. We need to run the command. So here in the schema, what we need to pass? We need to pass the path of the file. Now you try to give the answer. How you can able to get the path of the file? Any guesses?
By doing
In the Google
PWD.
browser, you are doing all these operations. You want to see what, in which directory you are working. If you want to see in which directory we are working, we need to give the command called as a PWD command. By giving the PWD command, you can able to find out in which directory you are working. In which directory I am working. In my system, I am working in the home drive, home folder, Srinivasu 552. In this Srinivasu 552, I created the file called as a sample.json. In the same way, in your system also, please give the PWD command. And once you are going to give the PWD command, then you can able to see the in which folder you are working. In that folder, you are having the file called as a JSON file. That is the complete path we need to provide. Just I'm giving this command also. So I given this command also in the Telegram group address. So in that command only you have to do two changes. One is you need to provide the JSON file path. That is the one change. Second change, you need to provide your database name and table name. You need to change your JSON file path. That is the first change. Second change, you need to give your database name and table name. How to get this path? Just you need to give the PWD, which is nothing but it will give the current working directory in the Google shell. On in that folder only you created your JSON file. So you have to give folder path and you need to give the file name, that JSON file name. After that, you need to change the. After that, you need to change your database name and you need to give your table name. By giving all this information, we are going to create the table in other approach. Any issues in the creation of the file or any issues during running this command, please let me know. Online people or offline people?
Sir, in the notepad, if a command is too big, what is the shortcut to select everything, sir? Copy entire thing in a notepad ++.
Copy? I didn't get that. Can you repeat the question?
Sir, I have a BQload command, which is a very long thing. I want to copy. It's in one line. Okay, I want to select everything and then copy it. Is there any shortcut is there with the control and shift combination? Any shortcut is there, sir?
Yeah, you can click on the shift end and with the shift end, it will go to the last letter automatically.
Okay.
I think we can unwrap that one, wrap that one.
Yeah, one is the option wrap. Otherwise, if you want, you can go to the view and in the view, you can click on the word wrap. By click on the word wrap, your data will be displayed in the multiple lines. Otherwise, by using the shift end, you can able to select the last line.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Anyone facing the issue to run this command? Not working? What's the error? Huh? Online people, just 1 minute. Offline people are facing some issue. I'm going to check that. So just I'm repeating the same thing, Andy. So here you need to create the file. Okay, don't give the same path here. So in your system, can you able to see the path called as Srinivasu 552? Obviously no, right? So you are having your own path, Andy, and whatever the file name you given, you need to provide that information here. So that's the reason I'm repeating one more time. In this whole command, you need to do the two changes. One is you need to give your path and your file name, that JSON file name. Second thing, you need to provide your database name and your table name. All these are the changes we need to perform on top of this command. Still, if anyone facing the issue, online people or offline people, please let me know. Okay, once you are able to create this table successfully, then run the same command, and this BQLoad command is not going to change. You can use the same BQLoad command. Only thing is nothing but whatever the table name you given here, same table we need to provide here also.
Sir, I have a question here. Can
Yeah,
I?
please. Yeah.
Sir, we are creating the tables and then we are loading the data. Okay,
Hmm.
till here it's fine.
Hmm.
But suppose again 10 more rows are added into my table data.
Hmm.
So I want to update it. So
Hmm.
I want to give some schedule interval for that. So is it possible through Cloud Shell? Because in Airflow, we use the same BQLoad command as well as we give the schedule interval, right?
Okay. Now you want to give the schedule interval for what?
For the table updation of the adding 10 rows.
Everyday load you're asking indirectly. Everyday load or something like that.
Yes, yeah, like every day or else for every 6 hours or 4
Yeah,
hours.
we can give that information, Andy. So, but just I need to check it how we need to give, but we are having that option. From the console, whatever the operations we are going to perform, same operations we can able to perform from the schedule, from the Cloud Shell also.
Okay.
Okay. You are facing the same error. Some file is having some issue. We'll check it once. But tables are creating, right? In all of them. Online people, any questions?
Sir, the date format needs to be changed, sir. After that, it was working fine in the Excel sheet for me. Higher date, it is expecting, BigQuery is expecting to load in the form of YYMMDD. If
Okay,
you change it, then it is working.
You modify the date in the Excel sheet directly. Where you modify the date in the Excel sheet, whatever the Excel sheet I shared with you.
In higher date column, I modified, sir. Changed the format.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm asking. In a higher date column, you modified all the dates as a YYY-MM-DD format, and with that, it's working. You are saying, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay, but for me, without changing also, it's working. That's the way we are having the confusion. That I will check it offline. At least for you, it's working. That's well and good. Within the shell only. It's not storing in the cloud storage, or it's not storing in the local system only. Only in the shell. If you are going to close the shell, what will happen? Automatically, that file also will go. Okay.
So where we can see that file, sir, we'll created file.
If you want to see the file, just give the ls-ltr only. If you give the ls-ltr, what will happen? You can able to see the file, whatever you created. And if you want to see the content, what you can do, just give it as a cat. This is the way you can able to see the content. So you just give the ls-ltr, there you can able to see the file name, whatever you created. Okay, after that we can give the command called as a cat command. By using the cat command, you can able to see the what is the content you given within the file. Is it fine? Okay.
Yes, sir. Fine.
Yeah, folks, if you observe here, indirectly here we are using some kind of Unix commands also. For that reason only earlier we discussed about the Unix commands and if you are not doing the practice on the Unix commands, you cannot even understand what is the cat command or what is the pwd command. For that reason, earlier I shared all these kind of commands. If you did the practice, can you please silence? 2 minutes. Okay, when I'm discussing something, please keep maintain silence only. After that, if you want, you can have a discussion. When I'm discussing something, please be maintain silence. Okay. So here we are using some kind of Unix commands also, pwd, and we are using the cat command. So like this in the real time also, sometimes we need to use the Unix commands only. For that reason, you should have knowledge on the Unix commands also. Now overall, these are the different ways we can able to create the table on top of your BigQuery. So just will summarize the things very quickly only. So how many ways we created? Or you tell me the answers. First one, from the console, directly we created the table. Here we can give the ingestion type column as partition column. This is one approach. What is the second approach? From the console, by using commands. What is the command? By using load data, you can create the table and load data also. This is the second approach we followed. What about the third approach? Third approach, from the console only, we are using the create command. After that, we are using the load command. So this is the one more approach we discussed, Randy. And coming to fourth approach, from the Google shell, what we have done? We ran create command by using BigQuery option. By using BigQuery option, we ran the create command. So with that also we can able to create the table. After that, if you want to load the data, we are giving BQ load. Okay. And other approach we discussed as BQ MK -T. Here what we are doing, we are giving the inline schema. After that, again we are giving BQ load for the purpose of loading the data. This is the one more approach only. In the same way, last approach, BQ MK -T. Here instead of giving the inline schema, what we did, we created the JSON file. That file we given the input. After that, we perform the BQ load operation. So this is the one more way we can able to create the table on top of your BigQuery. Total, how many approaches we are having? We are having total six approaches only. By using all these approaches, we can able to create the tables. Either that is the partition table or normal table also. Normal table
as well.
or partition table. Normal table or partition table, any kind of table you can able to create by using all the approaches only. But tell me, out of all these approaches, which approaches we discussed newly today? As per my knowledge, I'm thinking only these three. From the console, already we discussed about creation of the tables multiple times as part of our previous classes only. Today, just we discussed about from the Google shell how we can able to create the table. I think this fourth one also I covered 2 days back. Only these two are the topics newly we are discussing as part of our today's session. Just by giving the inline schema, how we can able to create the table. By giving the JSON file, how we can able to create the table. Only these two are the new topics we are discussing as part of today's session. If you observe, all the remaining 4 topics already directly or indirectly we covered as part of our previous classes. Okay, then what is the summary? Not practice Sunday. That definitely have to do, no other option. Okay, we'll finally think about in the real time which approach we are going to follow. I can able to say we can follow any one of the above approach by depending on project process. See, in every project we are going to see the different types of the process only. In some projects they want to maintain all the structure in the JSON file. In some projects they want to maintain all the structure in the inline schema. In some projects they want to maintain the create table statements only. Like that, project to project their requirements are going to change. Better to have knowledge about all the things. But as part of interviews, this is one very important thing. Please remember this. In interviews, they are asking the question: in your project, how you are going to create the BQ table? What's the answer? Don't cleverly give all the 6 options only. If you are given all the 6 options, what it means indirectly, you are the fake employee. Okay, because if you are going to work in the real-time project, are we using all the approaches, or we are going to use the only one approach? We are going to use any one of the approach, and be perfect in any one of the approach. If you ask me, I will say try to be perfect in last 3 approaches, because in the real time we are not going to get the console access. For that reason, try to be perfect in last 3 approaches. You can give any one of the answer as part of your interviews by using 4th approach or 5th approach or 6th approach. We are creating the table. Don't give the answer. This is one approach. This is the second approach. This is the third approach. This is the 4th approach. You are not teaching them only. You are giving the answer to them. If you are giving the answer like this with all these approaches, what will happen? He can understand you trained and you came to the interview. With that, they can understand you are a kind of a fake employee. That's the reason. Don't do that mistake. But in the class, why we are discussing? Because in the real time, there are the chances you are going to work in any one of the situation. That's the reason my responsibility. I want to give all the real time possible approaches. And for that reason, I try to explain all these approaches. But if you are going to work in the real time, in project 1, might be you are using the 4th approach. If you are switching to project 2, might be in their project, they are using the 5th approach. In other project, might be they are using the 5th approach. Like that, project to project, we can able to see the different approaches, but try to have knowledge about all these approaches. With that, you can able to create the table anyway as part of our real-time projects. Okay, this is the summary I want to give. Any questions still if you are having, please ask me. Python approach we'll discuss, and don't worry. So far, have we discussed about Python concepts? No, right? Without knowing the Python, we cannot able to perform the activities in the Python. That's the reason I'm not at all discussing about any Python only. Once we completed the Python, then also we can able to see how we can able to do all these operations with the help of the Python. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Now what's the next step? Are you ready for 2:30 class? No. Online people?
Yes,
Sorry,
So tell me,
tomorrow we can.
tell me, teaching is complex or listening is complex?
Listening is complex.
Listening is complex. Huh?
No, both.
Listening, what you, as part of listening, what you can do? You can sleep, you can talk, you are here, but your brain is somewhere. You are having all those kind of options, right? But as part of teaching, do I have all those kind of options?
No, sir.
I need to focus on every person. I need to clear the doubts. Now you tell me which is the complex one.
Listening.
Okay, I'm not trying to prove I'm the best one, Andy, but just I'm telling. So obviously teaching is complex. Listening is also complex. I can understand. If I'm in your position, what I will do? I will also sleep definitely. But don't try to sleep in the class, Andy. So please be awake and try to understand everything. So why we are discussing all these things? For my purpose or for your purpose? Definitely for your purpose. Again, I'm repeating the same thing. During joining the course, what people will ask? Sir, will you give real-time examples? Okay. But while discussing, what will happen? While discussing real-time examples, what is going to happen? You will get sleepy feeling and you are getting bored feeling. After that, you are going to get frustration. What is this? All these things. After that, so many things. And so you are going to get the different feelings also. But don't try to get all those things, because still we are discussing about only BigQuery. So still we need to discuss about Dataproc, PubSub, Airflow. So many things we need to discuss. Please be ready for understanding everything. See, if you ask me, I can able to say, just to see the summary. Don't think about whatever we discussed from the morning session and today's session. And after completion of everything, earlier also told everyone, just to see the summary. As part of this entire whole session, morning and today's session, what we discussed? Only we discussed about how to create the table, how to create the partition by using the console, by using the BigQuery. Other than this, have we discussed any other topic? Yesterday only we discussed about the partitioning and clustering. Earlier only we discussed about the create command and everything. Only thing is nothing but we are taking one example. On top of that example, we are trying to perform the same operation by using the multiple approaches. And just think in that way. With that, what will happen? You can able to feel a little bit better, because okay, sir discussed about only 6 approaches. I need to perform the practice for only these 6 approaches. And instead of that, if you are thinking about all these things, first command, second command, third command, fourth command, if you are thinking in that direction, what will happen? You are going to get a lot of confusion. For that reason, after completion of each and every class, please try to summarize yourself. And once you can able to summarize yourself, with that, what will happen? You will be in the relaxed position. Otherwise, you will be in the frustrated position. Okay, that's the reason. Please create this kind of summary after completion of every class. Based on that, do the practice. With that, you can able to get the perfect knowledge. Okay, now again coming back to here, 2:30 class, what we need to do?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Creation and load the data.
You want me to
in
take
real-time
voting? Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Now, what is the problem is, if I'm going to take the class, these no people will scold me. If I'm not going to take the class, these S people will think that sorry, skipping the classes. That's the problem, Monday. We'll do one thing. Okay, if I'm not going to take the class, what you will do?
We'll practice.
You will practice, or you will. I'm asking offline people, and actually, this is the one thing I'm observing. Whenever I'm going to complete the class by 1 p.m., by 1:10, I'm not seeing anyone here. I know only 2-3 people are here, but all the other people are simply leaving. Okay, if you want, you can leave, no issues. But please go to the home and do the practice at least at the home, and coming to online people, I don't know what you people are doing, because why I'm telling this one is, so far I received the second assignment only from the 4 persons. I think 4 or 6. Okay, if you see in the online, we have around 43 people here, and offline around 20 to 25 people. So total count is 68. But out of 68, only 6 persons completed the assignment. What is the time we given? Thursday, end of the day. Today, Saturday. Any issues or any problems we are facing? No time? That's a very good answer, actually. And do I have the time? So if you know my schedule, 8:30 to 10, 1 class, 10 to 11:45, I taken the demo, 11:45 to 1:30 again, I'm taking the class, but still I'm active or I'm non-active. Okay, might be you will think like this also, Andy. You are getting the money. Okay, see, even if people are getting the money, people won't do this kind of things, Andy. So money is one factor, definitely I will agree, but we need to have the kind of a passion. Okay, what is my passion? I want to teach multiple examples, or I want to cover all the topics in detail. If you ask me, what I can able to say here is simply what I can do. I can skip all these things. Instead of discussing all these things, directly I can give one command, and I will ask you to run the command. With that, within 10 to 15 minutes only, I can able to complete this topic, Andy. But why we are spending this much of time? I know what kind of problems we are going to face once we are going to join in the real time. With the fake experience, getting the job is not a big deal. For example, if I'm going to give the 50 interview questions, and max they are going to ask the 50 interview questions, or they will ask the 60 to 70 interview questions. If you are going to buy out all these kind of 50, 70 interview questions, even 10th class students also can able to get the job. But where we are going to face the problem? Once we are joining in the real-time company, there we are going to face all the challenges, and other people are doing the very fast work, but you are doing very slowly, and other people are able to understand the requirements, but you are unable to understand the requirements. I know all these kind of problems, how people are facing in the real time. That's the reason we are spending this much of time on top of all these kind of basic things, and try to understand, try to utilize it. With that, you can able to clear the interviews, and also you can able to easily survive in the real time. As I told you earlier, getting the job is different, or survival is difficult. Survival is difficult. Okay, as I told you, by learning 50, 70 interview questions. Otherwise, daily you can stay here. I think in the 609, some people are attending the interviews, and daily go to those people, collect the interview questions. If you are collecting the interview questions for next 1 week or 10 days, what will happen? You can get all the interview questions. With that, within 1 day, within 3-4 days, you can able to get the job. But after getting the job, survival is going to play very, very crucial. Just I want to add only one last statement. If you don't have the job, what will happen? Relatives or friends won't ask anything, and they won't comment you on. They won't comment you also. But see here, once you are going to get the job, after that, once you are going to lose the job, then what will happen? This is a very tricky situation, Andy. If you don't have the job for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, no one will question you, or they will ask a question. Okay, you don't have the job. They will ignore it. But once we are going to get the job, automatically what we will do from our side? We will start doing showcasing. What is meaning of showcasing? You got the job, you are entering into IT industry, you are doing so many different activities once we are going to get the job. And within 2 months, if you are going to lose the job, what will happen? Then all the remaining people will come into the picture, and then they will start commenting you, or they are going to do so many things. This is the very tricky situation. Okay, don't fall into this situation. This is very good compared to this. If you don't have the job, very good. But if you have the job, after that, within 2 or 3 months, if you are going to lose the job, that is a kind of a tricky situation, because within these 3 months, what you will do? immediately will go for personal loans, or you will go for car loans, or you will go for home loans. Okay, within 3-4 months only people are doing all these kind of things. If you are going to lose the job, what will happen? Who will pay all these things? Again, you will get the frustration and all the things. That's the reason don't fall into this category. How we can able to avoid this category? One is background verification. Background verification is not in your control, but what is in your control? Technical capabilities. Technical capabilities is in your control. For example, you joined into a company, you worked for 3 months. Within the 3 months, you are doing very good work compared to the real-time people. After that, your lead find that you are a fake employee. As part of background verification, they found that you are a fake employee. But if they are having the good impression in these 3 months, what will happen? What will happen? That lead will try to save you because you are doing very good work compared to the other people by considering your technical capabilities or by considering your focus or other activities. What he will do here? He will try to save you. So there are some options we can able to save the people even in the background verification. If you are going to, if they are going to find out you are a fake employee as a lead or as a manager, they can able to save you. But when they can able to save you, if you are sleeping in the meeting, that will they save you? No, right? If you are not talking in the meeting, will they save you? No, right? If you are not doing the work, will they save you? No, right? If you are strong in the technical capabilities or if you are completing all the work on time, automatically they are trying to save you. Might be they will save or they won't save it, but at least they will try to save you. But to perform all these kind of things, what is the main thing required? Technical skills. How you can able to get the technical skills? Wherever you go, finally where will come? Practice. Without practice, you cannot able to get the technical skills. So that's the reason. Please do the practice. So why we came to this topic here? Yeah, assignment. This is the main topic here. Only 6 people completed. Remaining people, what's the problem? That also, all those are basic queries. So might be today or tomorrow I'm going to give the one more assignment. There you can able to see the complex queries with the joins, aggregations, and all the things. But first assignment and second assignment, those are the kind of the basic assignments. For the basic assignments only, if you are taking this much of time, one reason might be you didn't understand the database concepts. Second reason might be you are not spending the time. Third reason, your ignorance. Okay, if you are falling into third category, you won't able to get the job. And whenever I'm taking all these kind of statements, and don't take it in the negative way. Why I'm telling all these things? As a faculty, it is my responsibility to discuss about all these things with the students. Other than technical skills, compulsory we have to discuss about all these kind of topics only. And one more thing, out of 1 hour of class, how much time I'm spending for all these things? Max 5 to 10 minutes. Remaining class, at least I'm cracking a joke. This is the one more complaint I'm getting. Sorry is not cracking any jokes in the class. Seriously, class is going. So if I'm going to crack the jokes, what will happen?
Distraction.
Deviation.
It's a kind of a distraction, right? So obviously your mindset will change. Some people will say, sir, we can wake up from the sleep only, but that is not going to happen. If you are going to sleep, what will happen after the joke also? Again, you will fall into the sleep only. Okay, that's the problem here. If I'm going to crack the jokes, it's a kind of a distraction in the class. And that's the reason I don't want to play any kind of jokes here. If you are focusing on your topic, we need to focus on the topic only. With that, you can able to get the end-to-end knowledge on top of that topic. Okay, might be some people are thinking in the brain whether we are having this class or not. Even we are discussing all these things in your brain. What is the thing rotating? Sorry is taking the class or sorry is going to cancel the class. Okay, so we'll do one thing, if you want to do the practice and all these things, I can able to cancel the class. But if you want to do the time pass, I don't want to cancel the class. Based on that, you try to give the answer. If I'm going to cancel the class, I'm expecting 2 things from your side. First thing, practice on all the topics, whatever we discussed today. This is first thing. Second thing, complete assignment. If you are ready to do these 2 things, then I will cancel the class. Okay. Okay, then so 2:30 I'm not going to take the class but see here, tomorrow's class, whatever the class we are going to conduct, that topic is completely depend on the today's topic and don't think that tomorrow also I'm going in a very slow way. Tomorrow I will go very fastly because already we spent the around 3 to 4 hours of time on the same topic. Same thing we are going to perform in the tomorrow session by taking the real-time example. I don't spend this much of time as part of the tomorrow's class. If you want to understand the tomorrow's class, you need to complete the practice for the today's class. Then only you can able to understand the tomorrow's class. Okay. Tomorrow we'll meet at 8:30. Don't ask at 10 so we'll meet at the 8:30 only. Okay. Okay, then we'll meet you tomorrow. Online people, any questions?
Sir, one question, sir. Like
Yes,
the
sir.
last table I was able to, I was trying to create, but it is giving me name string error, like extra data line to column 56.
Yeah, might be in the JSON file. You given the last extra line, and please remove that extra line in the JSON file. In the JSON file, might be by mistake you given the last line. Okay, by clicking on enter, please remove that extra line in the JSON file and try to recreate it. It will work.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Sir, I have a question here.
Yeah, please.
In the second assignment, I have some questions which I didn't get it. I mean,
Okay, can you please post those questions in the Telegram to only my account? I will check and get you back.
sure,
Okay.
sir. Yesterday, one of member has posted one question, and there are two more questions which I didn't get it.
Yeah, please
Those.
ping me in the Telegram group. I will check and get you back.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.